as you've seen, we've got our new streaming platform, and as we are paying for this service, we want to make the best use of it as we can. So obviously, at the moment, we kind of have our open hours. That's once a month, every third Wednesday, which is obviously where you are today. Tom has now started up his own new stream, so he's actually going to be coding weekly on Fridays. Tom, I think you've got a schedule set up.
Yeah,
where we're going through PRs, fixes, seeing Tom's mind working code, which is always fun to watch. Alongside that is we've also have what we're classifying as the Creators University, which is going to be a weekly series. Should hopefully be starting next week, but see how the stars align. That's probably going to be on a Thursday, so we don't conflict with Tom's work and open hours and things like that, where we're going to be running through the highest of the MonoGame tutorials, going through them, allow people to join in, ask questions, get feedback, aim to be quite short sessions so we can build a video catalog of more educational content that people can refer to and going on. And we're also in talks with several others that we're going to be get going. So the university side is going to be going through the tutorial. It's going to be going through the shaders tutorial. That will probably be a lot slower pace because there's a lot more content in there. And also then into mobile and beyond. The current tutorial series we've got, if we're doing what sort of one chapter a week to keep the pace of what people want to see, there's enough content there for the next year. So that's going to keep going on and keep me very busy. Tom, if you want to talk about code time.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that if we're going to be spending time working on bugs in the public release of public version of MonoGame, and if we had like PR work, just approving PRs or going through PRs in detail or any other things like that, we figured that it's worth kind of going over that publicly, so you can kind of just get some insight into the difficulties and the things that we go through in order to get that stuff done. So that's really all it really is. A lot of it's going to be very code centric, most likely. And, we expect that there'll be some other, streams that we do around this. We're just kind of figuring it out for right now.
I think the thing that I most liked at your stream, Tom, is that, and if anyone's not watched it, it's available on YouTube to go and watch. Twitch deletes it after a week because we're not a premium or a pro partner. Right. But it's seeing the troubles you have with the content pipeline. We have the problems with the same with the content pipeline, but you got to see Tom delving through the weeds of exactly how to find out what was going wrong, the ways you diagnose that, and then how to fix that, which I thought was invaluable. I thought you thought it was a waste of time, Tom, but I love that section because seeing how a mind works to correct something which is going wrong and the steps you go through.
Right.
Was just
fantastic. Right. No, I didn't feel like, showing people how I diagnose stuff, and figure things out. I mean, that's useful. Like just being able to know how, and this is a skill that anybody as a programmer needs to learn is, if I have a problem, how do I figure out what's causing it and how do I fix it? How do I approach the problem? And that's really the key to all this is like just figuring a way in to figure out what the solution is. That's the trick. So learning, how other people think that way, helps, when you get into your own situations. The thing that I thought was a waste of time was the fact that I had to do that at all because it should have already be working. So it's that kind of dog fooding where we're kind of living with our own code that forces us to look at here are the problems we ran into. Like I ran into the issue that, the change, what was it? The change in how we build the shaders or the native code that was moved around from when I wrote it originally. So I couldn't figure out what that was, but there was no documentation in the README of like, well, how do I build the code? That wasn't there and I didn't find it. So fixing that so that the next person that comes across, says, well, how do I build the native code and can't find an answer? Hopefully they can find an answer now. So that's the idea is to, go through this ourselves so we see where the pain points are and address them.
Yeah, it's also showcasing the same troubles some people have when they're working, especially if you're working with the source code. We have that ourselves. We're a multidisciplinary team. We're working with a code base that's over a decade old. And some things are rapidly changing, especially with the change of the native platform. And while we try to communicate even with the team about these changes and how they work, sometimes it's easy to misstep. But
Yeah.
That's the whole point with these things. You get to see behind the covers, behind the curtains, as it were.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and tap the bell for YouTube notifications. Comment below to let us know what you'd like to see more of. Support us at monogame.net/donate or get in touch via social media.